Hello there, folks. It's Nerdy John here, and today we are re-recording this episode. Today I have a certain thought with some opinions with me.
Sup, bitches? Look, I was gonna go for the whole meek and mild, like, sweet little thing, but that's a lie. Everybody knows. I'm not gonna be like, hi, hello. Nope, I'm here. Let's gossip.
Yeah, I got the sweet, innocent creator, guys. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm fragile.
Yeah. So I know we were talking about it a bit yesterday. Well, I say a bit. I think that was like our main source of content. The fucking technical situation. If we want to like retread a lot what we were saying, and I know you've already said a lot, thanks to your video. But I think I have to agree with a lot of what you were saying in that, especially with... So, Zero's original statement says that yes, a screenshot does exist. And given that was a sort of confession, which, you know, confession/suicide note, it's safe to say that now that he's trying to say, well, that isn't the case, it's up to him to prove that those don't exist, but I haven't seen proof that those don't exist.
Look, we as YouTubers can't really criticize or speculate or whatever on... Well, I mean, we can't speculate, but we can't say what actually happened with Zero and the note and the girl and the screenshot. We don't know that, right?
Yeah.
However, Technicals made a video, and that we can scrutinize because essentially he wanted to use this video to prove exactly what we are speculating now on about Zero. And the problem with this video was just that it was unconvincing. If you didn't already believe Zero was innocent or didn't believe already that he had changed, then this video is going to prove absolutely nothing to you. It's not gonna... There's no definitive concrete conclusion. There's no case closed, you know? So if you were already on the side, if you are of the opinion and of the mindset that even if he did a feint 7 years without a new case is enough for you to completely forgive somebody and move on, then this video was unnecessary for you. If you're of the mindset or the opinion that we absolutely need to know for a fact that it did not happen and the rest was the reason why he wrote this note, which, you know, was a suicide note and all that, then we need more proof, because essentially Technicals only say the evidence doesn't exist. He says it in the live stream, he says it in his video, he says it on Twitter. The only thing he has to fall back on is that there's a lack of evidence. Which, I mean, that's dodgy as hell. That's such a dodgy position to take, right?
Because like, if there's already a confession from him, and keep in mind, this is not like a false police, like this is not a confession done under interrogation. If I understand there was a lot of like pressure from the public in terms of like, hey, what the fuck happened, you know? But like, no one was twisting his arm saying, hey, you need to confess now. At least I don't believe it.
Absolutely, yes. And with stuff like that, it's so severe and so dangerous that I can't think of any actual reason why somebody like Technicals would insert himself or involve himself in such a serious case. I mean, currently, you know, Zero is trying to sue Jesu and a bunch of other people who are unnamed, and we don't even know if this alleged victim is a part of the lawsuit. We don't know that as a fact. We don't even know who they are, or if they would, you know, we don't know any of those kinds of details. And I'm just thinking, as a YouTuber, you know, who nobody knows, who doesn't handle any serious kind of situations, I was thinking, like, how the hell would I involve myself into that kind of situation unless I for a fact 100% knew that somebody was innocent? And how could you know that? I mean, Technicals never studied criminology as far as I'm aware, you know?
He's not a psychiatrist. He's not a psychiatrist.
Yeah, he's not a psychiatrist. He's not a detective. He's literally a YouTuber. His qualification is that he knows how to install Wi-Fi and record himself with a script.
Guys, I know how to use a green screen. I can handle this investigation.
Exactly. He does, and I will 100% have to give this to him. He does have some absolutely fucking fly taste in jazz music. I will put it out there.
Of course.
I live for that. I love the aesthetic. I'm here for it. But like I said in my video, he should have...
I really like the noir detective aspect he went for. But from all I knew, that was a bit, right? But
Yeah.
like I've talked to people. Apparently, he thinks that he's a real detective. I don't know.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, though, because if you think about it, if you looked at every single counter argument that he put out on Twitter. Oh, by the way, for those of you who do not have Twitter and want to catch up with the drama and feel all left out, you can literally just watch any single episode of South Park and you'll be up to date. That's exactly what happened. They were just screaming, shouting, measuring dicks. It was hilarious. It was a good time. I highly recommend Twitter. I think it's a fantastic place. I know, crucify me for that opinion.
In you.
I am pro Twitter. It's the vibe I'm going for. It's my aesthetic. I'm an internet person now. It makes me happy. But what I want to say is that clearly he must think that he is some kind of detective, or that he is aware of some knowledge that we mere mortals of the internet do not know or do not possess, because he is absolutely he's carrying that level of confidence of a Sherlock Holmes, but without any of the qualifications, proof, or prior
God damn.
like qualification. Like he has none of it. He has none of it. He's all talk. He's all quack 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 quack.
Why are you cracking? Yes. Why are you quacking, bro?
Reference
Why
to the stop quacking. Why are you quacking? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was thinking, why are you tweeting? Why are you tweeting, bro?
This is what confuses me too, right? Excuse me, head pop. This is what confuses me, right? Technicals. I watched a lot of his videos because I became a fan.
Yeah.
He doesn't really. Before this video, he never really used the emotional argument before.
Right.
Right. But
look,
now all of a sudden, he's using the emotional argument, and it doesn't make any sense.
Well, it kind of does if you think about it, that his goal wasn't, when you do research for any kind of paper or scientific purpose, or anything credible, when you do research for that, the idea is that you look at all the evidence, and whatever the evidence conclude is what you end up presenting, right? So you have no idea where your research is going to take you. But what he did when he started this video, and this was the big problem, was that he went into it with the idea that I'm going to exonerate Zero. So he had to filter through every little bit of scrap possible of evidence, and when the evidence did not lead to that obvious conclusion that he's obviously innocent, like with Sky Williams and Zaptai and such, he had to retwist the evidence to fit his narrative instead of changing his conclusion to fit the evidence. So that is very clearly the problem. So that's when fallacies come in, is when you want to prove a point instead of looking at the evidence to prove your point. So he should have presented this, I think, like a documentary, saying this is what happened, this is a story of Zero, this is where there's doubt, this is what it could have been, should have been, might have been, these are their stories, that kind of thing, where it's more open-ended, not exoneration, not guilt tripping the audience, none of that. It shouldn't have even concluded with #welcome back. It should have, maybe just been like, Technical says dope music and an aesthetic, and he knows how to edit, like he should have relied on his own brand.
Like, let's be clear here. Like, the first 10 minutes of that video are fantastic, editing wise, camera shot wise,
content, the
I already
entire
said editing, but he disproves a lot of those like ridiculous stories, which Jisoo did spread around, right? Because she didn't filter out what were actual accusations compared to people just lying. And it's good to like filter out those stories so that way we can get to the core issue. The problem is he's trying to exonerate him on the core issue when there's not a lot of evidence that can help him exonerate. All we know is he was messaging a 14-year-old girl, proceeded to message her after he found out she was 14, and then supposedly in the girl's Twit longer, she talks about how he wanted like every 2 weeks to have one day where he could control her. And then we have a rumor that he allegedly asked for pictures of her playing with herself with ice cubes, and then in a confession him confirming that. So now we don't have the evidence that proves that he doesn't do that. So the only conclusion that the public can really come up to is either, well, we don't know what happens, or yeah, he did it.
Yeah, Yeah, and the thing is the only person who should take this as criticism is actually Technicals, not Zero himself, because that is an actual legal situation. You know, law enforcement should be dealing with that situation. That's not on us. But Technicals' video defending him is 100% us. That's our business. That's our space. He's on YouTube trying to defend YouTube or trying to argue with and against YouTubers. So that is 100% up for scrutiny, and that's why I'm here for the party. But what I will say, and I said this yesterday as well, the absolute final straw, I think, where the public had to decide whether they go left or right, what they're voting, who they're standing in this situation, and who ultimately is guilty and innocent, happened the second that Technicals decided to post Lolly on the timeline.
Oh, God, yeah. I had people legit tell me, well, it's not that big of a deal. It's MS Paint drawing. I'm sorry. If you're drawing a depiction of a sexual act upon a minor, and you share that, that's bad. I don't. There's no line of where like the quality matters. As long as you're depicting those acts on a minor, I'm sorry. That's a no-go for me, bro. That's a no-go. And I love how he clearly knew it was wrong, but his only response was, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's just a bit weird to have this on the timeline, guys. I'm sorry."
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. The quality, of course, that doesn't matter, but why would you put yourself in a position where something might, maybe, could have, would have, should have been problematic to that extent within the specific context? It wasn't just like a random ass day that he decided to post this MS Paint. It was in the context of discussing Zero. I mean, could you have could you have pulled a worst PR stunt?
In the context of the image, right? It was that thread that Connor had on his Technical's twin brother.
Yes.
The problem. Okay, so I see how bad the situation is, and I can see where Augie's coming from with that. The guys are coming from on that, where it's well, I can see why he defended Zero so hard now. But the thing is, I still want to get to the core of the argument, because then it becomes a mudslinging type of thing. And it's not that these guys dug it up, right? Because this was all public information.
Yes.
It's just I want to stick to the core of the argument, because now supposedly I guess Technicals is going to make a video debunking all of what the commentary guys have done, and he's especially going to try and debunk Zaptai, because that's Nick's greatest achievement.
I mean,
so
but it's so. Sorry.
Oh no, and
Sorry
I feel if he thinks Oh, you're good. I think if Technicals feels like he can take down Zaptai, he can also take down Nick, because that's literally Nick's greatest achievement on this website, is bringing back Zaptai. And so he wants to take Nick down a peg, so he's bringing in this other person who wasn't involved in the situation.
Oh, I 100% agree. I think it's the same technique that he pulled with Jisoo, was trying to kind of break her from within by disproving every single thing that she's ever said and done in the public eye, which actually works because she is trash and she has said trash, and it's been proven over and over. So that's an easy slam dunk. And I think because that's his modus operandi, he decided, okay, well, Nicholas, you are now enemy number one, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing to you. I'm going to destroy your biggest work. And that to me is fucking insane, because he doesn't even consider the consequences of bringing in Zaptai, because it's Zaptai. It's another person who has nothing to do with this, and now you're going after them, targeting them, possibly destroying their career on this platform. And for what? For what? Because people didn't agree with your video? Are you serious? That is high-key embarrassing. Talk about posting your L online.
Yeah,
that next to Lolicon would be his two biggest achievements of no-goes.
Here's the thing, right? I feel let's talk about the first live stream. I don't even think it was an after-hours show. I think it was just a stream of them talking about it, but it's a clip now on Augie's channel.
Yes.
They had their problems with it, and they were expressing their problems with it as the video went along, right? But then Technicals got really, really angry in the chat. Like, he was the first one to get really upset about this situation. And I get, like, trust me, I having friends watch my videos and tell me, like, where I messed up on is pretty hard to hear. I mean, especially, I imagine for his case, too, especially involving, like, the situation, right? But, like, the thing is, you need to let them, like, air out, like, their opinions on it, and then you need to go from there. And, like, he was like, he called, like, he was, you could tell he was angry because he shouted out the N-word and calling them demons, and like,
yeah, I mean, he
I
came
feel
in
like he took
blazing.
Can you repeat that?
Oh yeah, he just came in like guns blazing. He wanted answers and he
Oh,
wanted
yeah,
them
yeah.
now. And to add insult to injury, if you looked by that point, you know, we still had our likes and dislikes, and you could see he had an overwhelming 90% plus positive review. It was the absolute minority of the commentary community, the absolute minority that pinpointed any kind of critical comment, and they had to, because if it turned out that Zero lied about the confession being false and being fake and that it did happen, their credibility would have gone and tanked as well. So 100% they have to say that they agree or disagree. That is completely expected, and they will be held to that same standard. So it makes complete sense, and he could have just, you know, taken the L and accepted that 99% of people still agree with the video, are still running with it. He could have literally he could have ignored it, pulled an Elvis the Alien, completely went his own separate way, and the audience would have been none the wiser. But instead he had to show his damn ass, and now we're here. We're here.
Yeah, and like,
And
I get where Nick is coming from, because I get where Nick's coming from, right? Because the reason why he joined on that is because he genuinely thought Sky was innocent, and Sky is innocent, right? But now, if the Zero video gets called into question, then that also puts Sky into question, because Zero was living at Sky's house, and so like,
Absolutely.
it's just like. And like, the way like Jisoo works is she'll use any ammunition she has because she's a vindictive bitch. So like, this doesn't go but well for Sky, and out of everyone in this situation, I really feel bad for him, because like, he's seeing these two guys, like this group who like really like stood up for him, right? And like they all like were tearing each other apart, and he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, Sky and Zaptai are two people who should not be dragged into this. It has nothing to do with them, and they both of their, I guess, allegations, innocence, whatever, is being questioned now. Their characters as well, and I just don't think it's fair. And the only reason that they're being brought up is, in my personal opinion, is because technicals literally cannot take criticism. If he just, you know, took it the way that I was re-listening the other day to when that exact moment when Nicholas the Oreo had Turkey Tom on call, and he told him about his problem with the pyrocynical document that he made. And Turkey Tom was like, I don't necessarily agree, but you know, he didn't say anything bad, he just didn't agree. And then eventually there was a second stream, he phoned back in and he was like, oh yeah, no, I thought a bit about it, and I can kind of see, you know, I mean, and he took criticism the way you would take criticism, right? Or the way you would expect an adult to take it.
I will say though, I think they went a bit soft on Tom during that whole pyro thing. That's just my personal opinion, though.
You know,
but like, if Tom,
100,
if Tom didn't take it well, I could totally see like this sort of thing happening.
Yeah, but that's my point though. Is this thing would happen with a bunch of people who are stubborn in their opinions if somebody's not able to take it well. That's what I mean. Like, if you are able to hear a counter argument, because initially how they approach this with technicals is their own, like, Nicholas was actually, I think, genuinely nice. The way that, or for him, right, relatively, he was approachable, and he explained to him that he was not convinced, and it did not escalate from his side. It escalated actually when Bo Blacks tried to almost translate what from his side, saying why it would have been a problem, and then technicals just snapped back, insulted Bo Blacks.
Oh yeah, like Bo Blacks
was one of the most neutral
was trying to play
people.
middle ground.
Yeah, yeah, it was so embarrassing. Like, I was so embarrassed for technicals, and especially because he wasn't getting ratioed on either YouTube or Twitter. Nobody was calling out technicals at all. Like, he literally could have just, accepted that they don't buy into it and kept it pushing. And he claimed that the reason why he started firing back was because Nicholas leaked the DMs on Twitter. He's claiming that, feel your feels, but I think he wanted to lash back and he was waiting for like one single move from their side in order for him to go full force back onto them. I think he was waiting it out. He was just like, one misstep now and you're gonna get all of it. And boy, how did we get all of it. It was all over Twitter. I wake up in a different time zone, so I had to go through all the Kua tweets and everything, but luckily I knew as I was reading through everything and trying to pinpoint the exact narrative of what had happened, that luckily nothing was going to update while I'm reading it because everybody was finally asleep.
I saw this happening in real time. I actually saw the image. I saw the image that he posted in question, and
I'm sorry. Do you need some virtual therapy, some hugs, or something? Will you ever make it through this time?
well, audience, you know what would help me out through this tough time is if you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, do that. That will always help. We love engagement. Leave a hate comment as well if you want. It's fine.
Oh yeah. Since you can't leave a dislike anymore.
Yes.
But like, and like, well, I went full on, right? Because like at this point, I'm like, oh, it's just these two guys fighting, right? It's a matter of opinion. Although I will admit, at that point, I was leaning more towards Nick and Augie because I agree. I agreed with their base statements more because like it was more logical in my opinion. But then he just posted like that lolly shit. I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Why the fuck did you do this? And like his stands were coming at me being like, well, he didn't draw this dude. It's just his drawing. What the heck, man? And I was like, yeah, well, guess what? Fucking Brit Bong didn't make that CP, did he? No, he just shared it, guys. No big deal.
Listen, I 100% agree with you. And of course, all the Shadman apologists, they all just jumped out at that moment. They were waiting. They were like on call for the hashtags. They knew some lolicon was about to drop and they were up in those DMs ready to fight and battle. I'm sure some Discord alarm went off and they knew guns initiating now. Plan X.
Yeah. I'm sure some of them probably were like, hey, technicals, you want to like share that image with me so that way I can prove to other people that it's totally not bad. I'm not going to use it for anything else, I swear.
Yeah.
You probably got some people like that.
I am 100% sure because those Shadman fans are they love to tell you. They're not shy about their opinions and their hot takes. And the thing is what I particularly found interesting during that time, because I, woke up to the discourse and how people tried to downplay it, but specifically the arguments that Aki's weird stories, that guy is a strange one. He argues very strongly, but he doesn't argue in a logical, coherent manner. I've seen other debates with him before, but I wasn't really too aware of him in terms of his content. I just didn't care that much for it, but he always finds a way to take a story and move it into something else, because the criticism, right, was that he posted lolly. That was it, right, for that specific argument. And what he posted in return to Nicholas saying that, oh my god, he posted lolly, was saying that, oh well, you're just taking advantage of the fact that it's been deleted now, so you're making it seem like it's worse than what it was. No, dude, did he post lolly or did he not?
That's
the only thing in question. There's no more severe.
Trust me, it was worse. You want to know what the image? You want to know what the image was? You want to know what the image was, audience? It was Technical's brother, drawn by a minor, right? Okay, for clarification, Tech's brother didn't draw this particular image, but like it was still shared and he accepted it. Like it's a drawing of his brother, who is 19, railing a 13-year-old boy so hard that the boy begins to bleed from his ass.
Lovely. The kind of pictures you would put on a Christmas card, am I right?
Oh yeah, the kind that you share with the family. Again, guys, it was just a meme. It was just a meme, guys.
It's not that
Like, the
bad.
fact
We're
that
just taking advantage. Woe is me.
Oki, like what? And Oki tried to insert himself in that, which is weird, right?
Yeah, that was so weird. I didn't know if it was because at that exact point, and I remember thinking this prior to seeing any part of it on my timeline. I was thinking this better not turn into some misconstrued race situation, you know, saying like, oh, you have to pick a side.
Mr. Sen tried to put it that way.
Exactly.
Which was funny because he's white. That's funny because he's white.
Obviously. So I saw some people going in that direction. I personally have to give this to Tech. He didn't himself, from what I saw, try to push that narrative. I don't know if that's maybe
and Oki
why
didn't
Oki
either.
went.
Oki didn't either, to be clear. He just said, oh, look at the commentary community. Like, they're ganging up on this one guy.
What I'm saying is that maybe some people felt that the side that they choose would reflect their opinions on race relations, to put it as like maybe, you know, some of it was performative in that sense, is what I'm trying to get at. What I'm personally going to give Technicals is thank you for not making it that. Thank you for not, you know, making that the banner, because that would have been such an easy like pull against the woke community. But I guess on the other hand, he can't utilize the woke community because his whole thing is thriving off of being controversial and problematic. So I guess that would be a weird move if he went to that audience. But he's been making some like weird friends for this, eh?
Yeah, like as soon as Zaptai was mentioned, Elvis came out of his little hole. I'm sure I haven't seen like a statement from Bionic Pig, but I'm sure he's behind him too.
I'm sure he's tagged.
Steve DeLive, the Owl Toy House guy, maybe Redsky too. I know he said he didn't want to like really comment on the situation, but I'm sure like Steve and all of them are convincing him behind the scenes. Who knows?
Yeah,
right?
Half of these people I don't know, but what I do know about these people is that every single name that that's a lie. Most of the people that you just referred to, I've seen had some grievance with at least one or more parties in the commentary community. But
so like they're slithering out. Because like, oh my god, the people I hate are getting criticism. I better join in.
Exactly, the enemy of my enemy is my enemy, and let's, you know, like, it was like, okay, we're going on war against commentary. All the enemies unite. And that Power Rangers montage where they all turn into this massive robot with like a fucked up leg and like two left arms, you know, like it was just a mismatch of people.
Did you see that video? I mean, that tweet where like Oki tried to call Tipster a bottom feeder?
Yes, that was so perfect.
Which is weird, because like, if we're going by the logic here, right? We're going by logic. Tipster is bigger than both Nick and Augie, so why would he try to bottom feed on people who are much smaller than him?
Listen, I don't even care at times whether or not what Tipster is about to say has any kind of logic behind it, because that's not why I watched that clip or enjoyed that clip or subscribed to Tipster. What I saw in that clip was the definition of a fucking mic drop. That was like, come here bitch, pound in the face. Clean your hands and say, what's for
you're
dinner,
calling
guys?
me a bottom feeder, but literally a year ago you were sucking my dick.
Yes, he did all of that. Tipster is an OG for that fucking reason. I knew that he wasn't going to bring Oki on and give him like this.
Oki's friends were so fucking pissed. Oki's friends were so fucking pissed at
Really,
that
what
too.
happened? Did they respond to it?
Well, yeah, because Oki's friends with Do Jangles, and who she's like a she's somewhat commentary. She's not really commentary anymore, I would say. She just makes videos that she thinks are fun, which is perfectly fine, right? I actually like her content. I like the podcast that her and her friends are on. But the thing was, like, she was like, just because you said you like someone's content doesn't mean you're sucking their dick, right? Which I would normally agree with, right? But then, like, if you look at the whole, like, the situation, Oki's literally calling in Tipster a bottom feeder, which is uncalled for, because Tipster, at that point, I don't. At that point, he was. I think he commented on the situation a few times, but like he wasn't going in as hard as like Nick and Augie, right? Even not as hard as like Edwin and Willie, but like out of all of them, he's the bottom feeder, because even though he's the biggest out of that group besides Tom, like it doesn't make sense.
Let me put it to you like this. As somebody who doesn't subscribe to, follow regularly, or watch or keep up with Aki, there's 3 things that I now know about him. 3 distinct things that form my opinion. The first one is, and this is a bit predating this drama, and that is that he doesn't understand how DMCA law works at all. There is a debate between him and Nick. The second thing that I know about him is that he can find an excuse or a level of severity in Lolly posted on fucking Twitter. Like, he can excuse it away. And the third thing that I know about him is, after all of this, knowing exactly which side you're on, what people think about you, how you are perceived, and what is currently going on, after all of that, he would still have the actual fucking guts to phone in to Tipster's show to get shat on. Like, how did he not see it coming? That was such an obvious, Tipster W was going to happen. And the fact that he didn't know that, he just couldn't comprehend that was going to be in the future. How the fuck do you fuck up that much, that frequently, to that extent, in so many different directions? That's what I know about him. That has informed my opinion that I think he is hilarious. He should definitely stay on Twitter, but not maybe for the reasons that he thinks he should be on it. But I enjoy him. I thoroughly enjoy him from a distance.
I will say, though, I think Tipster should have allowed him to respond, because, from an audience perspective, right? I want more blood sports. I want to see more of it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying is, it's perfect for blood sports. He walks into it.
Yeah.
He's a willing participant. He's signing himself up, not knowing that this is going to be the obvious conclusion. That's what I love. He's the kind of guy that you want in blood sports because he won't back down. You can punch him in the face over and over again and you'll still get up and not see it coming for the 4th and 5th time. That's fucking perfect. That's what I want in blood sports. That's what I'm saying. You should keep doing him. I'm here for that party, because it seems like he is struggling with learning. But you said the friends went after Tipster. What did they do? What did they say? So this Joe Dinkles, what did she say?
Defending Oki. Let's see. From what I saw, it was a lot of she was responding a lot to people in the comments being about the technical situation too.
Oh, what's her take?
Yeah. It was. I think it was both people are wrong, or something like that. It's been a while since I've read the.
Oh no! I was just curious.
On the Oki thing, I definitely know it was just because you said that you like someone's content doesn't mean you're sucking your dick, right? And I assume they probably got into it a bit further because Tipster ended up blocking all of them. Because they had a little parade, woohoo, we got blocked, right?
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
I appreciate.
It was fun.
I believe you. I think if you didn't have Twitter for this, you're missing half the story, not because anything intelligent, insightful, or worth noting happened, but simply because all the fun happened on Twitter. All of it. It was a lot of fun. Maybe for all the wrong reasons, maybe for all the right reasons. I can't tell you. That's up to your own moral compass, and whether or not obviously gross things make you chuckle and laugh, or whether they actually gross you out. That depends entirely on your perspective. For me, myself, I love it. I love a good blood sports. And the fact that Pie Man's video came out around the same time, it just felt like the season, something funny was going to happen.
It was too perfect. It was
too perfect. It was so poetic. I was absolutely here for the entire journey. Like I said, for me, it was a very easy choosing of sides the second the lolly dropped. And the fact that he so obviously didn't have any kind of actual counter argument, because he, like I said initially, and I think in my video as well, this whole thing would have ended if Technicals literally just said, okay, then we agree to disagree. That would have been it, because at this current moment in time, neither party has convinced the other party at all, even slightly. If anything, they've caused both of them to be more extreme in the opposite direction.
Yeah. pretty much.
And what made the online debate even more spectacular was this idea of getting ratioed, but technicals ended up blocking everybody with potentially a bigger platform than Augie. And Augie has significantly less followers than technicals, so obviously every single time they would get into a public fight, every single time it would look like technicals won. It would, because there's nobody with a big enough following that's also commenting, you know. I mean, it was fun. I had fun.
Yeah, and like the reason, and like what was I about to say? Shoot. Like I want until I can remember what I was about to say. Let's look at like the mental health thing, right? Literally every person who's been involved in like a somewhat a pedophile accusation, Austin Jones, Mini Lad, Kira the Wolf, a bunch of other people, right? They've always gone to the mental health thing, and that's why I'm sort of desensitized to that argument, right? Like, I don't fucking care. Like, I'm sorry, Zero. I don't fucking care that your wife made you mashed potatoes when you were depressed, all right? You fucking texted. You tried to solicit a nude from a minor.
Yeah, but that just
Allegedly.
goes to show how little Technicals knows about previous cases of this nature. He doesn't know these examples. That's why he's committing the mistakes that have already been criticized years ago. I mean, any single person who's up to date with their commentary lore, if they had to do the Zero situation, if they had to take on that case, they would have immediately known that even suggesting towards the mental health, the saga would have destroyed their argument and their video. Everybody would have known, because we, like you said, we've seen all these people. It's a reoccurring theme. That's why we have failed apology compilation videos on YouTube. That's why it's such a reoccurring theme, and it's to the point of us adding clown music every single time we hear it, you know. So but I mean, every single time also that people brought up these examples to Technicals, he was like, wait, who? So I mean, he really didn't do any kind of research into
did he really cases. Not know any of these people?
No, that there were like two different. He didn't even know red kiwis, which I would think would be
he didn't know red kiwis?
Yeah.
Oh my god! He was blaming. He was. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
He was blaming the girl. Well, she looked 15 when she was actually 13. How does that help you, dude?
Yeah. That's the thing. It's so obvious when people are not, and that's why you don't mess around with the community if you're not up to date. That's embarrassing. That would be like me trying to do something in Smash. You know, I don't know. Like, I know that I don't know shit about fuck, but that's even
did
less.
he just find out about Zaptai? Because he was like, oh, you should have cleaned up your search history. You should have cleaned up your history better.
When he had the debate with Augie, he admitted that within like the past day, I think it's less time, because obviously he had to watch, or I don't even think he read past the wiki drama tuba. What do you call that one? The Wikitubia.
Wikituba, yeah.
Well, there we go. Zaptai's entry, like, because all his arguments were very bullet point rudimentary. You know, this happened. None of the context, none of the fact that she lied. And the most important, because this is again the argument that Zero had asked for CP, which is absolutely nothing like the Zaptai case, where none of that even possibly occurred, which immediately would have eliminated that entire argument. So the fact that he didn't even address that point or bring that up, that just goes to show he's going for low blows, because he saw that his own credibility was under attack, and instead of, you know, defending his own credibility and coming up with newer, better arguments, or getting a psychiatrist involved, or any of those logical conclusions, he wants to instead also discredit everybody who's criticizing him. So I mean, that's a lol. That's embarrassing. I just imagine, like, if you were in any kind of research facility and you came up with this new scientific equation or some shit, and somebody was like, actually it doesn't work, that instead of coming up with a new better one or fixing your one, you just go around and disproving all other mathematical equations. Like, that's just your strategy. Like, are you insane?
It's like when you fail to make a it's like when like these people who fail to make movies, they become like internet reviewers because
Yes,
like they just
a
sort of
Yelp
shit on
reviewer.
everyone else's movies.
Yes.
I remember what I wanted to bring up now.
Yeah.
Do you remember the part of the debate where Tech got so fucking angry he just said, "Oh, well, Augie, you're a pedophile. You think 18-year-olds should fuck 15-year-olds?"
Fuck.
Do you remember that part of the debate?
I do so
That was
much.
towards the end.
Yes.
Like,
No, I
that was
remember
fucking
that.
out of nowhere. That was fucking out of nowhere for him just to be calling, like, Augie a fucking pedophile.
Or was it
And-
really? Because, I mean, when you don't have any arguments, you're gonna go for those kinds of blows, you know? It's hilarious. I mean,
Right,
the
and,
irony
like-
is obviously
Like,
the fact that he can't even see
like,
how he
I-
himself...
like, when I was in high school, right? I saw people, like, from, like, a 2 to 3 year age gap date. And that includes 18 to 15. Did I find it personally odd? Yes, but like at the same time, right? The school kind of did nothing about it because like as far as we all knew, there wasn't any abuse going on. Like it was just two people from high school dating at that point. Now, like if you're if you're like a 19-year-old in college and you're dating like a high school senior, that's fine. But then like college freshman, like that's like someone in college and then dating like a high school freshman. I think that's bad, right? Sophomore bad, junior bad, and then like I think high school.
Okay, you have to
senior
know that none of these words mean anything to me. I have no idea what a sophomore is or anything like that. We don't have those terms.
So basically, freshman is first year, sophomore second year, junior is third year, senior is fourth year. So basically, like your last year of high school, and then you go on to
okay.
college.
Okay.
But basically, what he's saying is, if it's in that kind of environment, he thinks that it's okay. Like I don't think Augie was saying that he would personally do it. He's okay with it in a high school setting. Now online, I think that's weird. Like you shouldn't be doing that, right?
Well, what? Okay, yeah. You can make give your hot take, and then I'll give mine.
Oh well, that's basically my hot take. There
Okay.
is like if it's in like a school setting,
Yeah.
where it's like you interact with each other on like maybe a daily basis, like you've known each other for a while, and it's not like you guys met up on the internet, right? It's like you guys known each other, yada yada yada. I think it's fine in that instance, especially like. Especially like if they turn like 16 that year, cause like in some states, like mine for example, the age of consent is 16, but the federal age of consent is 18. Go ahead with your hot take.
Well, I would take it as far as to say if Augie is a pedo, and if Augie's opinion is that 19-year-olds and 11-year-olds may date and that's okay, then all of that does absolutely nothing to prove that Zero is not a pedo. Which is the only
like
point
let's
that...
say Augie is a pedo. Like,
Yeah, if Augie's a
like,
pedo
right,
and he believes that 20-year-olds should date 3-year-olds, even if that is true, then that has done absolutely nothing to make technicals more or less right or wrong in the story. It does nothing.
Right.
Absolutely nothing. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, so I mean, with Zaptai, if there was CP involved, then I could see that he would bring it up as another case study, because that happens all the time when we're looking at criminal and legal cases and stuff like that. You want to look at other, cases and compare, which I could see the logic in there, but I mean, there's no link, so of course not. But then proving that Augie, his own values and his own perspective on situation, again, does nothing. If you are surrounded by a bunch of morally corrupt people, then it still does nothing to prove whether or not an action is right or wrong. Literally nothing. So for me, that I like I went kind of brain dead. Like when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, so you actually literally have no argument. You have nothing. If this is the route you're going on, you don't actually care at this point. You just want a W. That's it. You don't care about Zero. You don't care about Katie. You don't care about the facts. You just want to beat the commentary bros. That's it. That's and
if
when
you look
it's
at
so
those
apparent,
leaked DMs, if you look at those DMs, Zero didn't care about Katie either.
yeah, clearly, but he did acknowledge that she existed. So I mean, saying that there's no proof of the actual main problem in question, the CP, does not really seem that convincing, eh? Like, if you think that he does know that she exists, and trying to find, it's messy. It's a messy story. I can't wait to see how
Really
this
is.
ends.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like we mentioned earlier, I guess Technicals is gonna make a huge video or a series of videos debunking all the people that the guys have found innocent or guilty. I guess he's gonna try to exonerate some more people. He's gonna try to make them guilty because he just wants to go after them now, I guess.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I can't wait for that arc. I think it's going to give us so much content and so many more live streams and all of it. I think the most adult answer that I could give, or position that I can hold in this, would be to agree with Tommy C and just say that, the bridge was burned, and unfortunately there is a point of no return, and they did go there. This is not something you can just casually, I mean, if we just compare with John Swan, it was very obvious when he made his mistake that there was a route to redemption, because it wasn't he took the L eventually, right? When it became public, he doesn't deny that he fucked up. Where with Technicals, I don't think he will ever admit that he did anything wrong in this entire story, at all, not even the lolly, nothing. So I think just in itself, I don't think he can come back, if that makes sense. And this side of the community would have welcomed him in open, like you said in the beginning. I mean, his content is pretty great if you actually know these people, and even if you didn't, I caught up with these Smash communities just so I could watch his videos. I was really trying my best to understand exactly what he's arguing, because I wanted to see his content, because I genuinely enjoy his work. So this is very disappointing.
Now I have no respect for him, really, now.
Yeah, and
it's so, he was so petty throughout this entire thing. I'm not saying Augie and Nick weren't petty either, but they also didn't post lolly.
Yeah, look, I made a coping compilation in my video, and it just went to show that everybody was really struggling emotionally and physically throughout this entire process. And yeah, it was highly emotional, I think, for absolutely everybody. If you even slightly cared about any aspect of the story, then you were emotionally invested, whether it's just seeing the boys fight, or whether you care about Katie's story or Zero's story, or even if you were hoping that this distracts you, if you're Jisoo and you're like, oh, please let this fight last forever so that nobody thinks about me and how I fucked up in this. I think everybody was very invested in this story, and I think it's gonna get a renaissance at some point. And I hope everybody catches up with the lore so that we can talk about it again when it happens, because yes, like you said, he's almost definitely going to release new videos. I don't know how he's going to debunk, or I don't even know why, because eventually at some point he's going to actually have to write a script and record himself and realize that he's destroying somebody's career, like Zaptai. Oh, doesn't at all deserve this. I fucking might even go after Slazo, which would be high-key problematic.
That would be interesting if that was the case.
Yes! Yeah, no, I look forward to his analysis of the analyses, and I hope that somebody in his real life sits him down and informs him that he's actually not a detective, and that he actually isn't qualified to be saying and doing the things that he is saying and doing. And I wonder what that touching grass moment would be like. I wonder.
Son, you're not a detective.
I know. You really wanted to be, and we bought you those books, but we just thought eventually you would touch grass, and, well, we see now that was our mistake.
Well, you see, the problem with that is there's no grass in the desert.
Oh, it sucks to suck, eh?
But yeah, I think we ran out of course with the technicals.
Yeah, I think we covered our grounds here.
Yeah, and to move on, I think we should have an honest conversation.
Oh, this bitch. Oh, good. I'm glad you brought her up because I have got shit to tell you. Okay. So yesterday, or my yesterday, South African local time, Keemstar, so H3H3 is currently being sued by Ryan Kavanagh. Am I saying that right? Whatever, deal with it. He's being sued.
Yeah, Ryan. Just say Ryan.
Ryan. He's being sued by Ryan. I'm sorry. Was that culturally insensitive?
No, you're fine.
He's being sued by Ryan because he decided to show the thriller fight that Jake Paul and who was the other guy?
Jake Paul and Ben Askren.
Yes, their fight. He decided to not only show and give commentary of that on his H3 podcast, but also to promote and advertise the fact that he illegally downloaded this fight and then decided to show to everybody. Now, obviously, there's a big-ass debate about whether or not this is copyright in itself, because he did play 30 seconds of it and he gave commentary, but the whole fight was like a minute. And besides that, the copyright debate, he also 100% definitely told everybody that he illegally pirated this footage and that he showed his audience how to illegally download this as well. So obviously stealing a lot of money from the company, and now he's getting sued. And so that happened, right?
And then he was also like, bro, why even watch this fight? This is so crap. And like people were like, well, he only showed 30 seconds of it, right? But like the fight was literally like barely over a minute too.
Yeah, it was so obviously so okay. So that argument's happening. So it's Ryan versus H3H3. Now, obviously, what would a story about H3H3 be without Yin and Yang, without Keemstar on the other side of this, right? So Keemstar actually has been minding his own business. And when they were addressing this lawsuit on an after hours with Augie RFC, Keemstar phones in and he's like, look, this shit is going to leak out. Let me just, give you the context, what's happening. So I am currently doing business with Ryan, but it has nothing to do with the lawsuit. I didn't even know about the lawsuit when we signed the contract. This is a business arrangement. And everybody should just know I want to be, ahead and honest about the situation. That's what's happening. Again, nothing to do with the lawsuit, even though there were some instances in this lawsuit that refers to Keemstar, but more as an example of the type of slander that H3H3 has been doing on his podcast. Because if we remember correctly, he was the entire podcast was suspended for like a week or something because of the slander they did to Keemstar. So obviously that's a credible example of what they do.
It was revealed that Ryan was responsible for those strikes,
I know.
Keemstar at all.
I know, but just Keemstar being the example of in this lawsuit cited, as whatever. So okay, the bottom line is Keemstar phoned in and admitted that he's doing business with Ryan, and that's where we are today. So this fucking honest conversation, yes, we finally got you. This YouTuber called An Honest Conversation, who is formerly known as having accused Gabby Hanna of being jealous of Jessie Smiles because Jessie Smiles was raped, and apparently Gabby Hanna wishes that it happened to her so that she could get the attention that Jessie is getting. That's who we're dealing with, this person, who didn't even... Anyway. So she made a video yesterday titled, Keemstar Takes Down Ethan Klein by Partnering Up with Ryan Kavanagh. And so I watched this video. It's a whole ass 6 minutes. I watched this video and she actually plays the clip in which Keemstar contextualizes absolutely everything, where he says, I'm doing business with him because this is, we are doing something totally outside of the lawsuit. It is nothing, and it makes sense that it has nothing to do with it because Keemstar is not suing anybody. So whatever. So An Honest Conversation decided to completely abandon all rationality and the word allegedly, completely, utterly, and all, and decided to make an entire video in which she blatantly states that it's so obvious that that Keemstar and Ryan made a deal behind the scenes that they were going to take down Ethan. Again, she doesn't use the word allegedly at all. I even commented to tell her that allegedly would be her friend because, again, we're working with a lawsuit here. Do you think this is the move to pull? Anyway, so
Yeah.
she came up with this whole ass conspiracy about how Ryan phoned Keemstar, and Keemstar was not going to resist the opportunity to take down Ethan Klein because Ethan Klein is winning at life because he's more popular and has a better public perception at this point than Ryan. So he's obviously already winning, and the only thing that Ryan could possibly do was to involve the Karen Star himself in order to take down Ethan. And it's just such a spinning of the narrative that's literally not. Keemstar said, like, this is such an outside deal, but obviously yeah. So the fact that after the Gabby Hanna situation and being confronted by the commentary community, she was so far dragged over Twitter that she actually deactivated and decided to leave both Twitter and YouTube for a whole ass month, then to come back and start doing the exact same thing over again. Please, John, take the wheel. Like, what do you think about this?
So I think it's a ridiculous claim to make that you're saying that someone wanted to be raped for the attention. That's such a monumental accusation to make, and you don't have the fucking evidence for it. And like plus two, these are the type of people who like they don't like say what they mean, right? They say R-worded. So like I remember Nick and them were like, wait, what? Did she mean like Gabby wanted to be retarded?
Right, I remember when that was yes. So I actually, at that moment on Twitter when she posted that horrendous shit, I commented or something or replied to her, and I said, ma'am, how did you reach this conclusion? Like, aren't you maybe somewhat sorry or apologetic or whatever? Because you would assume that somebody, after being so completely called out for one of the worst possible things you could be accused of, would say, yeah, okay, maybe, stepping back. Nope, she went full technicals on this. She said that no, what she does is she does mean it, right? So she doesn't take it back. She means that statement, but she's recontextualizing it to say... She 100% means it. She doesn't take it back, but what she takes back how she framed it, because she wanted to emphasize that it was the attention of having been raped that Gabby Hanna is after. I was like, bitch, nobody's confused about that. So then she told me to come on her live stream so that we can debate this. And I was like, no, sweetie, honey, child, there's no part of me that wants to debate whether or not Gabby Hanna wishes that she was raped. Because that's not a thought that comes to my mind. That's not how I live my life, I was so embarrassed for this child. So that's when, so then immediately she pulled 2 moves. She posted that she's going to be taking a break on Twitter and on YouTube, and then she followed me, and then she deactivated. Ooh. I thought that was the weirdest thing. I've never, what the fuck? That is on the level of like Kai Weiss, that's the kind of stance where you're like, what happened in your life? How do we get to this point? Why are we here? So I obviously have beef with this person. I don't think that they remember my name or that I exist, but I'm announcing it. I have petty, unresolved beef with somebody that I'm not willing to debate. Yeah.
If you guys want to have that debate, you can have it on the Nerdy Live podcast.
I'm just putting it out here. I'm not debating whether or not somebody wishes they were raped, because that just is not the way that I think about life.
In all seriousness, it is a genuinely such a stupid argument to make, right? And like no one, not even like Jesse, was making like the rape apologist argument. Like, no one was.
Right.
But then, like, as soon as, like, they stopped being friends, everyone was like, Gabby was a rape apologist this entire time.
Yeah, even though they were friends after the incident. The so-called traumatic event. Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah, and, like, dude, fucking, why is everyone's go-to for, like, questioning stuff? Oh, you must be a rape apologist.
Obviously.
I remember when, like, the Creepshow art thing was happening. And like Emily Artful made her video, right? And then like Nick was like, I think all Nick said was he was skeptical of the video. And then like you had fucking like Scrimzox and all of, like the fucking like T channel douchebags being like, oh, Nick must be a rape apologist.
speaking of isms and ists and people in the tea community getting shit wrong, are you up to date with with Hello Leash and her fucking antics at this moment in time? Dear Lord.
How she said like the end. Oh, wait, I remember you telling me that she's like she's not making. It's not that she's not making content anymore. It's behind a paywall now, right?
Listen, yes, she's. Oh my god. Okay, audience. In case you are not entirely sure what is currently happening, so if you right now type in Hello Leash and you look her up on YouTube, you'll see like a community tab post where she said, okay, she's taking a break and she needs to be offline, and this all happened after she dropped the F-bomb as well as the N-bomb and then made a ridiculous apology on YouTube. It's a lot of fun. You can meme it. Trust me, I did. Anyway, so she apologized for all this and still got backlash because she tried to continue her normal podcast show that she has, and people were in her comment section calling her out, not because what she did was the worst thing in the world, not because the people calling her out actually take it seriously or are even offended, but because she spearheaded the campaign of being this woke social justice warrior who's against people like Gabbiana, because people like Gabbiana are misogynistic and team up with the racist white commentary bros. It was fucking hilarious. The hypocrisy was just dripping off of her. So she decides, okay, this is not my way to live. I'm going to yeet myself off the internet, take some much needed quote unquote mental health time breaks, as one does on the internet. That's like what you do when you get cancelled, right? So instead of actually going offline and not making money from the internet, she won up, because this woman is fucking intelligent. I'll give her this. She's intelligent. So she decided to go to continue with her podcast and to continue with her Patreon. And so she decided to continue uploading these videos, but behind a very secure paywall. So in other words, she made a fucking hug box. So now she does exactly what she did on YouTube, and she is getting just, as much money, probably the same amount, but nobody's calling her out on any of her shenanigans. And none of her haters who want to be like, lol, you said the N-word, are going to buy her Patreon, like, at all. So now she's stuck with, or now she's like living her truth in her cult, which is crazy.
Yeah, like I made a video on Hello Leash, so like I'll say this: like my problem obviously isn't like that she said the N-word or that she said the F slur, especially in the context of singing along with a song, right? My problem is you're trying to portray yourself as this woke person who's like, we need to stamp out intolerance, right? And then like all this shit comes up, and all you can, and like your only argument is, I was raised not to use those words. Like, come on, bitch.
Oh, dear child.
Yeah, like, don't pull this with me.
It was so funny. And afterwards, she went on the live stream with an honest conversation, because, of course, we have to go full circle.
Wait, she did a live stream of honest conversation?
Yes, immediately after her apology video came out. And look, I didn't watch it. I wasn't there for the live stream, but that is only because I value my own time and the information I put into my my body. Like, if it's not in 6-minute shorts or apology videos of people crying or in a meme form, I'm probably not gonna watch it.
Wait, do you think it was like, so honest conversation, you would give me the end pass, right?
I genuinely, because she actually fired up a live stream talking about the apology, and then Hello Leash was in the chat pulling technicals and saying, let me speak, basically, and came on and, let's... Look, I know that afterwards an honest conversation got criticized because they apparently... gave or accepted the apology from Hello Leash. Let me say that, because she was like, okay, that old peace, love, harmony kind of wish wash, live, laugh, love kind of lifestyle. That kind of spiel.
Logic.
So so people were on the forgiving side of that. So I think that's why Hello Leash continued with the podcast, because she thought a black woman allowed her to be in the space, so now it's okay. Now she can continue. But she forgot that 90% of YouTube is about shit posting and trolls, right? Which is one of the reasons that I love the internet, but which is also one of the reasons why she hates the internet. So obviously she had to make a hot box, right? That's just obvious. That's the only way to have positive optics after something like that is to make your own optics, like handpick your audience, perfectly curated for the fragilest of egos.
Of course.
Yeah, so her cult is thriving. They are living their truth. They're they're so happy together, and there's no criticism to be had. Some of her moderators did come out, and now every single time that she does comment on the situation, it's more character assassination types of opinions. She's not dismissing exactly what happened, but she's going on the attack. Like a creator called Bambi's Rambles, she made one of the most recent videos on Hello Leash, where she exposed Hello Leash and Twitter conversations that she had actually had with a minor. And apparently or what actually did happen then, because Bambi shows the receipts of this, is that the mother themselves commented on this YouTube video saying that they should take it down because this mother is in favor of Hello Leash or something like that. Bambi, if you're here, please comment the whole fucking story or just give us a link in the comments below. But the mother commented and asked that... okay, so long story short, Hello Leash argued that Bambi was exposing this minor, whereas she did not. She actually was very, very respectful of the privacy of the minor in question, in a way that she could both tell the story and expose Hello Leash for this interaction with the available receipts, but also protecting the minor. And then Hello Leash went on the offense, not saying that this did not happen, not saying that it was okay, but instead saying that you, creator who's exposing me, you are actually exposing a child, a minor, into all of this. This is your fault. So that was an interesting side quest that this journey took, because why the fuck not, Insert that all into this. Yeah, it's wild. Hello Leash is crazy. I feel like every month or so something new happens with her.
I mean, now that her content is exclusively on Patreon, I guess, because it's all unlisted and everything, I have a feeling that we're probably not gonna get anything for quite a while unless she sticks her head out and is like, by the way, Nicholas Leorio, you're a racist.
I feel like every week or so, one of her mods, ups and quits. I think maybe it's just because they can't afford the next month of the rent that is due in Hello Leash's mind. So they up and leave, and then they just come out and expose her. I guess there's all these twit loggers. If you scroll through it, I get bored, but I get sent a bunch of these things, and some of them are really a lot of fun. Like I said, I love Twitter, and this is one of the reasons why people just get exposed for fucking nothing all the time. I think she's gotten a lot of unnecessary hate, but I don't think hating her is unnecessary. I think there's a lot of reasons.
Let's be honest, I don't think she did anything wrong, right? In terms of in terms of the N-word and F-slur stuff, right? If we go into the fact that she was venting to her audience all her personal stuff, but then was at the same time being oh, you should seek professional help, I'm not gonna help you. I felt that's kind of weird. But in terms of what her audience is pissed, what a majority of her audience is pissed at her from is the N-word stuff, right? That's not to me, that's not an issue, right? Now I obviously don't go around saying the N-word myself, but it's in terms of context, I think that really matters, because now if you go up to a black person and you're just I hate you, N-word, all that stuff, right? But if you're making edgy jokes, I think that's fine. You don't that's the thing with edgy jokes. Everyone thinks that you either have to love the joke or it has to be not told. You can hear a joke and not like it, right?
So this is
I always say, context matters.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Context matters, and you could say all the nicest, right, non-problematic, non-demonetizable words and still be offensive as all hell. So yeah, it's 100% intention. But this specific debate I find incredibly interesting as a South African, because I cannot even emphasize how unrelatable it is. Besides the whole thing that we do not have the N-word, none of the edgy kids that I ever knew has said the N-word. Not even the racist old people that I know have said the N-word, because it's literally not a thing here. Besides that whole argument, I know that a bunch of people on the internet, including the commentary bros, whatever, are referred to as edgy. but in my lived experience, my IRL people and such, like literally the only person on the internet that I can say would be considered edgy based on people that I've actually met and spoke to would be somebody like Leafy. But the commentary bros are literally like normal. They are not edgy like at all based on people that I know and have met and that we would consider, like me and my friends would consider people who are edgy. Like absolutely not them. Like yeah, and almost I want to say everybody, but I don't actually know everybody, but almost everybody in the tea community here would be considered super soft. And they might be ridiculed like by actual IRL people in the streets if they were in South Africa. So when people get called out and saying like, oh, they made edgy jokes when they were younger, that is just such a normal the types of things that people usually get exposed for. Americans that I see online, and it just doesn't make like it's unrelatable. It's very unrelatable. None of these things seem edgy to me at all, even slightly. The idea of somebody saying a naughty word while singing karaoke, I can't even imagine that anybody would bring it up. We have some extremists, like every place, every culture, every thing, like on every which way or side, but yeah, like without outing myself too much.
You know what pisses me off though? It's when you get the people like, okay, so like look, I don't actually have any ill will towards these people, but I feel like I need to like talk about it though. Okay, so like we have like the commentary people like Scrimzox and Jalen, people who are trans, right? Like, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but like I have reason for this, right? Like like these people like these people are like N-word funny. If I say the N-word,
but that's
it's
so
funny.
childish.
Yeah.
That's not even.
My point is, right, they'll make those jokes, right? And I think it's perfectly fine to make those jokes. But then someone makes a trans joke or someone makes a gay joke and they go off the rails.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
They get so hurt by that, right? And like my thing is, right, well, if you're going like, so like making fun of this group's okay, but not making fun of this group isn't. Like my thing is either everything's okay to make fun of or nothing's okay to make fun of, right?
Yes, like keeping the same like, energy, even, right?
Yeah, like okay, like I even think to a certain extent you can make fun of pedophilia, right? Like everyone's made a Catholic priest joke, right?
Dropping soap as well.
Right. Oh yeah. And like to go a little bit back to the technicals thing, the reason why I can't say I don't think those were jokes or like those weren't funny jokes is because what's the punchline? The punchline is that you and the minors are drawing porn of yourselves fucking each other. How is that? But I mean, what's the punchline to that?
Look, even if it was a terrible joke, it's not a joke when you are actually, in fact, infringing. Well, for us, it would be illegal. I have no idea what. Can't speak for the world.
Unfortunately, it depends on like state to state, right? Because sometimes, like, depending on the state you live in, the drawings are illegal. But then some states say they are. It's a legal mess.
Okay, so let me change my position. Let me rephrase then. Morality speaking, if you have a massive platform, then it should go without saying that some of your audience are gonna be from all walks of life. Some of them are gonna be actual children. What do you want to say to them? Some of them are gonna be actual assholes. Now, you're not responsible for what they do, but you are responsible for what you put into the world for them to consume. So if you have a massive platform, you have to be extra on that. You have to be aware of that. You have to be aware of the potential backlash. So if anything, I just don't have any sympathy regarding the backlash that Technicals received on that matter, because he knew the second he even downloaded that picture to post, he knew what was the next logical step. Like, this is not the first time he's ever got backlash for anything ever. So with that, I have no sympathy. So I can't even see how the context of a joke would even be brought up, because if you think about it being sent to children. Children are not going to laugh at it because they don't actually know what these things are. They don't know what sex and rape and those things actually mean, or they really, really shouldn't, right? Or at least you should not be the one to introduce those concepts to them. I have a friend who's a teacher who always goes by, when we were discussing the trans question with regards to teaching children, this friend of mine said that the only rule, or morally the rule that they live by, is that you should never make adult problems children's problems. You should know where that line goes, and certain issues like certain like sexuality, right, as much as it pertains to sex, should never be a concept that children have to tolerate or deal with or face or struggle with. It shouldn't be their burden to bear. They shouldn't have equal input into the conversation at that time. So posting lolly in a question of whether or not this is lolly should never be on a child's timeline for that sake. Like spare the fucking children. How? But this is obvious. I'm not saying anything profound here. This should be anyway, sorry, tangent again.
Oh, you're fine. But like, basically my point is like, you can't make edgy jokes about like one group and then not make get mad at jokes based off another people, right?
Yes.
Like,
yes,
I think you should be allowed to make fun of it. Oh no, you're fine. I think I take the South Park approach. You should be able to make fun of everyone for everything.
Yes.
If you want to make race jokes, make race jokes. I don't have to find them funny. If you want to make gay jokes, make gay jokes. You know? Because, like, the second we start censoring ourselves, that's when... Like, I obviously you can tell I have a very libertarian view on things. It's... We shouldn't censor ourselves, because as soon as we censor ourselves, we allow others to control what we say. If that makes any sense.
Well, I mean, look, y'all... You can self-censor because that's just, self-moderation or self-discipline or choosing your when, where, and what. But the second that you start policing over others, you have established yourself in some type of authority over them, which we do allow if we think about platforms, right? So YouTube has authority over what we're allowed to say and do on this platform. Same with Twitter. But when me, a random as human being with absolutely no power and say in your life, if I tell you how you have to say, do, and think, then you should 100% look at me and think, the audacity of this hoe on this motherfucking day to tell me where I motherfucking be and not be. No.
Yeah.
And I give that energy out and I take it in. I do not allow other adults to tell me to think police my way into the future. That's just not how I live my life. But the weird thing is, like, IRL, I've never experienced that, and I'm a very sociable person. I work with a shit ton of people, and I just don't seem to have this problem ever of people policing thoughts, and I don't do it, and it doesn't really happen to me. This is only an internet phenomenon. This idea of people being excessively offended by things that have no actual implications in the real world. It doesn't change anything, right? It doesn't do anything, and it's very remarkable. And I have to say that's low-key also why I love Twitter, because people choose to get mad at things. Trisha Paytas posted this thing yesterday, I think, of them, like, with a caption, something about buying into Judaism and how easy it is. And the funniest part is in this photo, like, the belly was exposed and blurred, like a fucking blurred belly. And I was like, people need to be talking about this. This is hilarious. Like, imagine putting a face filter on your stomach. Fucking hilarious. That shit was great. Anyway, so people were mad as fuck in the quote tweets and in the replies saying, like, how dare Trisha, how dare that hoe come and say this is easy, this is the worst thing that Trisha's ever done, blah blah blah. And I was like, getting mad is a choice. This is such an obvious troll at this point. If anything that Trisha Paytas posts upsets you, then you're choosing to be upset. You are not allowing yourself to enjoy the internet and the fuckery that is the world of Trisha Paytas. This is like a sincere, honest troll, and stop acting brand new. Like, if you're sincerely, genuinely shocked by Trisha being a troll, then maybe you are not like intellectually capable of being on the internet. You know, maybe that is a limitation that you are facing that you need to address with a professional, and the internet might not be the place for you. But that would just be my opinion.
Yeah, my thing on Trisha is like she's not funny. She's not funny anymore. Like
not at all. Not at all. People's reactions to Trisha is funny though. That shit's fucking hilarious. Like people actually take Trisha seriously. Fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm. I think like when she like actually like has mental breakdowns. This is gonna sound bad, but I think it's funny. It's
which ones? Like which ones? There's a lot. Like there's the YouTube ones, the TikTok ones, the Twitter ones.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's a lot to choose from. You know, there's a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Like I know it's a terrible situation, and I'm a terrible person for laughing at this, right? But like during the whole thing with her like revealing that maybe her teacher actually didn't like do the things that she said that he did to her, and she made that video like just breaking down crying, I chuckled a bit, not gonna lie. I chuckled a bit.
Well, I mean,
I'm an awful person, I know.
Right? Are you though?
And it's just I feel I love how like this is funny about Trisha, and this is the same thing with Ethan too. It's like as soon as like you're making the accusations, it's you know, don't believe anything that the other person says. They need to be crucified, right? But then as soon as like the tables turn, you're like, guys, we need to listen to all parties involved. Come on.
That's the thing with that whole story. The most noteworthy, interesting, funny aspect entirely was Ethan having to backtrack and remove that frenemies episode from the interwebs, and then having to look down and be like, guys, I fucked up here. I'm sorry. I'm removing this video because I stand with the victims. And now we don't know if Trisha was lying because another creator said maybe they were lying. So it was that hello darkness, my old friend type of moment.
Yeah. Oh, and I love how Ethan's continuing to insult the person that he's like. He's actively insulting the person that he's getting into a lawsuit with. And I'm just thinking, imagine being Ethan's lawyer right now. That's not going to help him. And I love how Ethan's bricks. Like, he's still trying to use the fucking argument of like, guys, he's trying to take down a poor, innocent, small creator when you're literally a fucking millionaire. Yeah, this guy's richer than you, but you're still a fucking millionaire. Like, I'm sorry, I can't feel bad in that aspect. I don't want your channel to get taken down, but at the same time, you're the fucking moron who decided to be like, oh, I'm above YouTube shit now, and then you go after like fucking Hollywood executives and shit. Like you those people live for lawsuits. You didn't expect anything to fucking happen to you. Comparing the motherfucker to Harvey Weinstein and shit.
Ethan's best defense, two things that I can think of from the top of my head that he should just straight up do, and I think he will win any jury and any judge. One thing is he should just show up in his Teddy Fresh outfit so that people mistake him or recognize that he's actually just 12 years old, and that he shouldn't be able to make adult decisions and carry adult consequences, because that's what it shows to me when he's in his iconic outfits. And the second thing that they should do is play the video. They should bring it into evidence, that video of him describing how his penis doesn't work anymore and how fucking tragic it is that it's now like a block of wood. It's useless. He has no feeling in it, no sensation, and that truly his life is worse, and it's all because of Trisha Paytas. If they play that to a judge, you know, and have him in his Teddy Fresh uniform looking like a boy's first day in high school, you know, that kind of setup, I think everybody will just pity the fool very, very literally, and throw out the case. They'll be like, you can't put this poor little child in any kind of judicial system. Look how fucked up he is. His dick doesn't even work, man. Like, take him home.
We gotta feel bad for him.
Yeah, somebody go buy him a burger and get a McDonald's toy with it.
Yeah, like my thing is I know this is like the generic thing to say now, right? Literally everyone has said something like this, right? But it's like I had some respect for Ethan, you know. I thought like, you know, it's this massive creator. And you know, he did a lot for the community at first, but now he's he's forgotten his roots, and it's just it's a situation where it's like now all of to be fair, like Fupa wasn't completely his fault, right? But now it's like we're in another situation where we're all supposed to gather up our money to save your ass from your mistakes. Like, come on. Like
the best part is like that. Sorry. No.
Go ahead.
No, you were sorry.
Yeah. It's like, okay, like the first lawsuit, right? That was genuinely like not Ethan's fault whatsoever. That was a sensitive dude who couldn't take his video getting made fun of.
Absolutely. And we loved him.
This is a situation. Yeah. Well, let's look at the situation, right? That was a free video on YouTube, right? That anyone could watch. The Triller thing was a pay-per-view event that you had to pay quite a bit of money for. He doesn't pay for it himself. He downloads a stream, uploads it to YouTube to watch that one specific fight. And he basically watches the whole fight because the fight only lasts a minute. He added pretty much nothing to it other than, well, this is like when we bring up the Sargon case, right? The Sargon case. This might actually be where Ethan would win the copyright stuff, because if we go by the title of his reaction to the fight, that might be considered transformative enough. But also too, I understand it was probably for edgy jokes, right? But well, edgy for Ethan standards now. Just calling everyone a pedophile.
Yeah, that green dollar sign edginess.
Yeah, and so it's I can understand where this dude's coming from, and from what I know, this dude's he's a piece of shit, right? But you have a fucking you have someone calling you a Harvey Weinstein figure actively shits on your app, right? I understand from a legal perspective why he would go after Ethan.
But also he told. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
But he also told his community where to download this the fight themselves as well, so that they also don't have to pay for it. So he not only pirated it himself and showed it to his audience, but he also told his audience where to go find it, so that they themselves also don't have to pay for it when redistributing it. So it's like a trifecta, just all around a fucking over of Triller. Excessively. This wasn't just one person that pirated a home video or some shit. This was massively commercial loss for the company. So of course one can see it. But I mean, I agree with you that the best part about all of this is just seeing how little of a fuck the community gives, in the sense where nobody's fighting against or for Ethan at all. People are literally just looking at the situation and say, I don't care. I literally don't care. We just want to know if Internet to J has gotten a date. We don't care what H3's lawsuit is all about, at all. Let us know the outcome. We'll retweet that Wall Street Journal article or whatever.
Yeah. Let me clarify, right? I don't want to see Ethan's channel get taken down. I don't want to see that.
Of course not.
Right? But at the same time, he got himself into this. He got himself into this mess, though.
Yes.
Like, you made your bed.
It makes sense because he's a child, right? He's a child. He gets himself into situations like this. Like, he should not be making any decisions that have actual real world implications at all. He's not like capable of doing that. Like, him and Hassan are on a very similar level, and good for them. You know, they should just be talking bullshit that nobody takes seriously. That is, BrainTube is the future. But what I just can't get over how the community has gotten over this so fucking quickly. And like I referred to this yesterday. I made a post and it was so stupid. It wasn't nearly the most controversial or edgy thing that I've ever done and said in my life. I really didn't think this was going to go anywhere. But I made a post where I briefly compared Ethan and Keemstar, and just two photos that they themselves uploaded, and just saying that Keemstar is retiring at his peak, and H3 is in the middle of a lawsuit, and you know, that's it. That's what I said, and those are facts, right? So it got retweeted by a bunch of people. This was actually
fucking Craig with like the naked picture of Ethan.
Yes, of course. Craig's Twitter is the worst thing in the world, and also the best, and I hate him. And I just want to do a full-on video where I roast his entire Twitter, going through it bullet point, telling him off exactly what is wrong and why it should stay there forever. Because again, I love Twitter and I love his profile, but I fucking hate it so much. Yeah, the worst. His timeline is fucking cursed. Anyway. So this thing ends up being retweeted by Keemstar, which obviously now means that I have been officially added to a bunch of fucking lists with the title Incel on it. Yes, it's fantastic. It is exactly what it sounds like. I'm now a proud representative of the Incel shitposting community. I didn't even know it was a thing. It's a thing. And now I keep getting DMs from randos telling me how low my IQ is, and, you know, challenging my genitalia, and
What? What?
And it's functioning. Yes, and I cannot tell you how much I love all of this, and I'm not even being sarcastic. It might sound like that. It's not at all. I fucking love this shit. I love seeing that somebody took the time to create a new profile with 0 followers just to tell me that I'm a dumb cunt. I cannot even tell you how much joy that brings me, because I never ever thought ever that on YouTube I would be relevant enough for somebody to go the extra step, and it means so fucking much. I just want to thank all the haters that truly have brought me to where I am today.
But your next step is to get into the commentary tier list.
Maybe not. I can see how it has gone for everybody else, and you know what? I'm happy just being sent a bunch of mean comments and pictures. Like, it really truly brings me life and so much joy. But if I can tell the audience absolutely anything, I would say, if you can and you have an opportunity, make sure that you get on a list with the caption Incel somewhere in there, because the memes that these people collect and put into one group, it'll fill you. Like, TikTok has got nothing on the memes that you will see when scrolling through this quote tweets and retweets, and it's fucking beautiful. Like, it's as brain dead as Ethan's fucking subreddit. It's fantastic. I cannot recommend this enough. It's absolutely where you need to go. If you woke up today and you had a bad hair day, or your boyfriend dumped you, or you stumped your toe, or you're just looking for a good laugh, this is the place to be. I'm telling you, this is what it is. I've been loving this. This has been great. It's just been a very active thing. And unfortunately, when somebody both targets me for harassment, but they are not funny, unfortunately, then I have to block them. It is what it is. Not everybody can make the cut. I can only go through so many mentions and notifications a day. So, you know, it should also be stated that a lot of them have been blocked now. But some of them I will screenshot and keep forever. And you know who you are. Like, if you haven't been blocked, you know exactly who you are. Thank you.
Oh, dude. Twitter's a fun place. Oh.
Yes,
but you know, sometimes it's like, obviously, like, I think I mentioned this to you, but like, my goal for like 2022 is like to get 1K, right? But like, at the same time, like, I like being a smaller creator, because like, you know, you get to like make mistakes, but then like learn from them and like not be
anything under
scrutinized.
10K is small. Don't worry. Like nobody cares unless your name can bring in clicks and views. I promise you that. It's fantastic. I still feel like I can do whatever I want, and it's like, yeah, but I literally am irrelevant, and it's fantastic. But a tip for anybody also watching, if you want your videos to pop up in recommendations based on what I can see with my analytics, make sure to properly title like every single thing that you are referring to. It pops up in people's random search, even Google searches. So like, remember to add tags, remember to add a proper description, use all the words, every single thing that you are addressing and talking about, put it in the title. Don't try to be artsy fartsy with your shit, especially when you start. Nobody's gonna care or click on your thumbnail if that's the case. And if they feel misled, they're gonna click off and your watch time's gonna dip, and then YouTube is not gonna recommend your videos even further. So to be picked up in the algorithm, you have to be very specific. Imagine you're ordering, some shit on Amazon. You have to be specific as fuck about what you want. Otherwise, it's not gonna be what you want. So that's just a tip. And that is really like, I noticed a massive difference in my analytics when I properly tagged everything. Even in the, like, before you post the show more, there's the tag option. If you tag everything properly, it rocks up and you find your base.
I heard the thing though that like tags don't really work anymore.
Really? Because they really work for me.
I guess it depends on like the creator and how you title everything. I remember when like Nick titled his Deaf Noodles video like Deaf Noodles Iceberg Explained, and like he tricked a bunch of people into thinking that it was like a fan video, but like it was ended up being a critique video on him, and like apparently a bunch of people were upset.
And he wonders why he got a bunch of Russian bots to dislike. That's the kind of shit you pull and then you get dislike bombed. That's what happens. Not knocking it. That was a great move. I'm in favor of it. But I mean, these 1 + 1 is 2 here. Come on, Nick.
I remember yesterday you were talking about how like there were other topics that you would like to talk about some other time. What were those topics?
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk to you about actually your content. It seems like a nice transition now to go into it. So I wanted to say I think it's dope when you do these shorter videos where you literally cover a news topic and you give out the facts, because the only person or the only people doing that right now is like Drama Alert and Scares, who are big names, and it seems like everybody thinks like these long form think pieces are the only things that you can do in order to be picked up in the YouTube search algorithm or whatever. But now the market is so overly saturated, and I can tell you honestly, I want to watch shorter stuff that just get to the point. Melly P is also doing stuff like that. And so I thought that was very cool that quite a bit of your content is follows that route. So is it intentional, or do you just not have time, or do you like it? What is the reasoning for that?
It's like it's sort of like a mixture of everything, because like, okay, so like in case you guys don't know, like if you're new to my content or you just haven't watched my stuff in a while, I started like a new podcast. It's called Nerdy Live. Basically, it's heavily inspired by After Hours, right? I'm not gonna fool anyone. It's heavily inspired by After Hours because I'm a big fan of Augie. And I wanted to do something like that, right? I wanted to like give my opinion on multiple topics in one live stream, and then like if I can, maybe clip them. My thing was though, it was like a lot of like I don't want to go, oh, my mental health, because like that's we established that's a stupid argument to make. But like I just wasn't like in the mood to do like coverage live streams, right? But like I still wanted to talk about these topics, and like the Ray William Johnson thing. As soon as I saw that, I was like, you know what? Let's just make a short video, talk about that real quick. I saw Prince Kai was like still spurging out, wanted to do that, and then like the Twitter CEO really does concern me, right? Because like he's actively said he's not for free speech, and that concerns me as someone who is an advocate for letting people speak their minds within reason, of course. Like, cause like obviously you can't yell fire in a building and then like expect no consequences, right? But you get what I mean. And then like the Vice article on Mr. Beast was so fucking stupid. I was just like, fuck it, let's just rant about this and see where it goes. I definitely do. I'm like a hodgepodge. Like I do what I like. I haven't done one in a while because again, I just haven't been in the mood for it. But I do reviews. I do podcasts, obviously, and then I do like the commentary stuff. And like the commentary stuff has a variety. Sometimes it's like a Belle Aubrey video where it's like 30 minutes long, and I give you like only my opinion, but as much detail as I possibly can. Sometimes it's just a 5-minute video of me clowning on someone. Or, you know, it's like the news coverage stuff. And I ultimately, with my content, and I assume it's with your content too, if I don't enjoy making it, then I'm not going to make it, you know?
100%. I totally agree with you. Like, I really can't be fucked to do a video on something that I'm not interested in. It's so fucking boring. And the thing is I don't know if this is for you the case as well. I've heard some other creators say this, and it definitely is a thing for me. I don't like my own voice when it's recorded. I don't want to edit it. I don't want to listen to it. It's fucking annoying. So when the topic in itself is on top of that not interesting, and I have to listen to my own voice over and over to edit it, that's a process of dying. That is suicide by self. Suicide by own voice. And that's not cute. And
if I can stroke my own ego for a second. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, and then I'll mention my thing.
Oh, sorry.
I interrupted you. You were about to say something else.
Oh, just that it's terribly annoying when you're not into the topic yourself. And for me, my only sub goal ever was to reach monetization. And after that, I was like, balls to the wall. I'm gonna literally do whatever the fuck I want, and whoever's here for it is here for it, and the rest can fuck off. I'm not doing this for money. I love my job. I worked really, really hard to get it, and I love my life. And this is just for shits and giggles. This is just for fun. It's not that serious. It's the internet, you know. So I agree with your idea of you have to do what you want, and if you want to change it up, you change it up. And I mean, don't go all full fucking Belle Pastel Aubrey, what is her fucking thing, where you belong to 7 different communities now. In case one cancels you, you just have the other one to fall back into, you know? Like, not that.
Like, I don't want to say it's a variety content. I just make what I want. That's basically how
well,
I
it's
do
different.
It.
It's
and
actually it's different formats that you utilize. Right, so it's still all within the same genre, but it's like one version would be a podcast, one would be reporting, one would be think pieces, you know, different kind of stuff like that. So yeah, and that's obviously based on what you want and can do. And a lot of topics that I personally think are interesting don't warrant like a 20-minute video. They're 5-minute videos at max, right? For example, what really you said about the yeah, and that's such a problem because my content is longer form stuff. So I feel sometimes that these topics that I kind of am somewhat interested in, I can't really make a whole ass video on. So I just, you know, let them go. And that's what I thought was pretty cool about your shorter stuff, that you actually get to go through those points. The same with Augie, Melly P, Drama Alert, you know, those kinds of more to the point stuff. And we 100% need more of that because, yeah, like I said, everybody thinks long form is better for the algorithm. So we have oversaturated. And now whenever I'm interested in a topic, I have to listen to fucking 20 minutes of irrelevant bullshit before we get to the point. Which is not it.
Yeah. And, and like, to stroke my own ego on my own podcast for a second. Like, I was kind of surprised because, like, obviously, like the Belle Aubrey video, it's like the highest viewed video on my channel. It's the first video that broke 1K. It's now at 4.5K. And then, like, obviously,
fucking
like, I went from like 200 subs to like 350 from that video. And those new viewers like commented on some older videos or like were in my live streams a few times, and like they talked about how much they like my voice, and like considering like I like doing like radio stuff, that it warms my heart. Like, I'll be honest, it warms my heart to hear that people actually like listening to my voice, because like that's like that obviously heavily involves the field I want to be in, you know, with the radio
Totally.
and podcasting stuff.
Yeah, but you have a nice tone, you have a good depth in your voice. Yeah, I agree. It's basically, I found you during Hello Leash. I'm pretty sure that's the first video that I saw. And totally agree with that. Like, yeah, I'm happy that you get to edit your voice and enjoy it. That must be nice. Can't relate.
Oh, you found?
Because
Like,
the thing is,
I found you from your Repzilla video, which I thought was fucking hilarious. I mean, I made a comment like,
shit.
now, thoughts and opinions. Now, you should have came to me in DMs before you made this video. I could have explained to you that it was my car accident.
you know, that video got me a follow from Ripzilla for a whole 12 hours. So I don't know
Wait,
if he
are you
just,
serious?
Yeah. Yes, I posted the receipt on Twitter of him following me and then unfollowing. I thought it was
God
fucking
damn.
hilarious. In Afrikaans, we would say that's kaksnaks. It's fucking hilarious because I don't know what or how, or if he accidentally was stalking me and then accidentally clicked the follow button, or what the situation was, but it was literally when I released the video on him. So I have no idea if he only saw the title or some shit and maybe thought, you know, I was or somebody as a joke sent it to him and was like, oh, this is a good one, you should see this, you know, some shit like that. I have no idea. I have no idea because trying to find out what Ripzilla was thinking, it was trying to trace the actual brain injury that he's had, and by that I mean no doctor could ever, you know, it's such a difficult task. He keeps on the losing debates because of that car accident. So I mean, it's a minefield. And yeah, so he followed me. That was pretty cool. He was the first big follow that I got, and then I woke up the next day and he was not following me anymore. So I assume he saw at least some part of the video. What do you mean? Oh no, that was so much fun. I had a lot of fun. That was great. And the thing is nobody in my real life knows that I do this at all. They have no idea that I have a YouTube channel, so I couldn't phone any of them and be like, you'll never guess what the fuck Ripzilla did. Yeah, that was like my own little thing that happened. Nobody fucking knew.
You see, I was that cringe 12-year-old kid who was like, I'm gonna make YouTube videos, and so I did it. Obviously, I've been trying to do YouTube as a hobby for quite a while. So obviously, my folks know I do it, right? Because you know, when your kids when your kid's little, you tend to know what their hobbies are. So
sure, yeah.
Funny enough, yeah, I got a lot of my first equipment from my parents and grandparents and stuff. My first ever microphone,
cool.
the Blue Yeti, was bought as a Christmas present, and I remember getting that microphone and being like, oh, I'm a big YouTuber now.
Oh yeah, watch me now. Just hold me back. I'm a dance monkey.
Yeah. Oh, this video's got one view, baby.
It's just, I don't think that it's necessarily maybe the cringe thing. It's just not a big thing in South Africa. The only people that I know of, even I don't even know anybody personally with a YouTube channel, but the people that I know of that have YouTube channels in South Africa are vlog style people, and they are not vloggers in the way that casual vloggers. They are extreme fitness fanatics or travelers, literally people that have high aesthetic appeal. And then we have one or two comedians. Actually a lot of our comedians are doing that old 2014 2015 prank style videos, which is fucking hilarious because it's if you've watched basically if you were here for the American journey of YouTube cycles and popularity and such shit, and you apply that to the South African context, because the other South Africans really don't watch. They don't know this side of YouTube exists at all. So none of my friends know that there is such a thing as even the tea community, right? They don't know. It's not a thing. We only use Instagram this side. And so, yeah, like when you see South Africans have YouTube channels and they do like these 2015 pranks, like I already know what's gonna happen. There's gonna be like a new South African Leafy in like a year or two's time. You know, they're just gonna casually start up a YouTube channel,
South
and
African
none of them know
Leafy.
that this is gonna happen. They have no idea that I've seen the future. It might even be me. Who knows?
Oh, that would be hilarious. You see, all of a sudden, Thots and
Yeah.
Opinions just starts doing gameplay commentary with Surf in the background.
You have no fucking idea. Shit's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be hilarious. Yeah, so I'm hoping that we start some kind of a shit posting commentary community on this continent, because I feel like the prank channels that currently exist in South Africa are, because when I say they're like 2014, 2015, I mean it very literally. Like the quality is shit, the pranks are shit,
Really?
the humor is shit, and it's very nostalgic. Yes, because I was on the internet at that point. I did see the thing happen. So these people don't know that we already did this on the internet. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know any YouTubers IRL because it's not a thing here.
You see, like, because like
Culturally.
most YouTubers are from Canada, the United States, or
Yeah.
the UK. So like there's
Yes.
that whole like circle of like people who
Yes.
like, you know, they tend to know what they're talking about. Like let's look at like some of the big like commentary guys. Like most of them are either from Canada, the UK, or the America. So
Yes.
everyone like picks up on what everyone else is doing around there. So they kind of like compete with each other a little bit to
Yeah.
get everything done. But yeah, I imagine for like countries that aren't necessarily in that sphere is a bit different, like not difficult, but like picking up on like the trends that are like what people are mostly watching. I imagine that's
Well,
probably
there's
pretty
just a
difficult to
lack
pick
of
up on.
caring. It's not, it just didn't happen. Like there was no because remember, okay, not remember because you don't know. Listen, in our Wi-Fi is exceptionally expensive, scarce, and like I remember in 2015 I could maybe watch one YouTube video a day, because that's how long it would take for a video to load. Like I had to pick one adventure that was going to be the thing. It only got better much later, and it's only pretty, so nobody could upload during that time, even because unless you were the richest kid ever, you couldn't afford Wi-Fi that you would need to do YouTube at all. So it wasn't ever culturally a part of how we lived our life. Like if you couldn't download and send that video via Bluetooth, then it just wasn't sent. So grade A under A was pretty popular here. I watched them in high school, like all my friends did.
Oh, grade
knowing.
was like,
Yeah,
oh, so
yeah, because that was
He
short
was kinda
enough
like-
and like, yeah, old school. Yeah, fucking
oh,
A.
dude. So,
Yeah.
like, so fun story. Like when I first got exposed to like commentary stuff, I want to say it was either Grade or Leafy first. I couldn't tell you who. I just remember like stumbling upon like these people's videos and like laughing at them. And then like in terms of like actual like commentary channel I actually got invested in, it was Turkey Tom's old content, because like
Wow.
I think I'm like, we're a couple months apart in age, right? So like think of it from like my perspective as a kid, right? I'm seeing like this kid around my age making this content. I'm just like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, I can imagine. Turkey Tom is really a fantastic creator. I'm loving the Tom Dark series. I religiously watch every single video that he makes.
Oh, it's
I'm not even
Tom Dark
low-key about
videos are
it.
funny. Because it's not like his, because like his main channels for like the documentary videos, right? Which he
Yes,
doesn't even go
yes.
overboard with. Like he goes with the time that the topic will allow, like 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes, you know. But then
Yeah.
Like if it's like content like the Mr. Beast thing, he'll just make a 10-minute video just making fun of the whole situation. I think that's fun because like we need that type
it's
of
content appropriate. It's not excessive. It's not too little. And like with the internet, Jay, where he brings in the singing, the extra footage just to extra dunk on him. Like you could tell that was a passion project, and I'm so there for it. I'm so there for it. When people started using pettiness to hate each other for petty reasons, not with the aim of canceling, not with the aim of hurting their reputation, but just dunking on them, that is absolutely 100% the reason to be on YouTube. That is the thing. Memeing people, like that, it was fucking beautiful.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Like I don't want every video to be about rape now, and like this is ironic because like a lot of like the top. Yeah, which unfortunately, a lot of the topics I'm going to be covering tonight in my episode 5 of Nerdy Live is going to be a lot of like rape stuff or like pedophilia stuff.
Oh,
but, like,
great!
You know what I mean, though. I prefer the fun. I prefer the fun content, like the Vice article that was fun to making like laughing at Prince Kai was fun. You know?
Prince Kai
like,
is the gift that keeps on giving. What are we now, like season 5 with him?
Dude, he legit got into a fight with Smaggle. That's like the funniest thing. Like,
I know, that was such a choice. That was such a choice.
Yeah.
Fuck. He did quote tweet me, but I didn't get the notification because he has like no followers at this point. And if I just knew, I would have been so up in that battle, ready to fight, ready to screenshot and use and milk him for content. I am not above that even slightly. That would have been so fucking beautiful. God damn, I missed out. But I hope Smaggle makes some good content with that. But he's Smaggle. Dear Lord.
Smaggle himself isn't a content creator, although there are theories that he's actually like Smaggle Daggle is the alt account of like some other YouTuber, and like he's actually just like faking, podcast. You know? Oh,
yes,
you watched
Vega.
that?
Vega opened my third eye. Yeah.
Dude, it was like I wouldn't say we're not close friends, but like Trivial Theater has helped me a lot behind the scenes and stuff, and like I don't know, it's really cool seeing someone I get along with like get that shout out that they deserve, because like she makes really, really good content, and it's nice seeing her finally get the recognition she deserves.
I literally found her through that and immediately like subbed while watching the rest of the review. I saw it and I knew this was it. This was where we are. This is the future. I like, as somebody who absolutely doesn't know her at all, I am so happy that I can learn about her now. She's fantastic. It's evident. And I got so secondhand excited when Vega got excited. He was so excited for his home slice. And I was like, yes, I'm excited for you being excited. Like, let's all be excited. Let's bandwagon. Let's raid this fucking channel with subscribers ASAP. Yeah. This is a clearly a 100K channel waiting to happen, you know? Like, it needs that pop off.
Like and she's become like from like my reviews, right? She's become like a huge inspiration for them, because like it's like she is like the perfect example of, it doesn't matter the sub count, it matters like how much effort you want to put into the video, because like Vega mentioned, you know, he's a really good After Effects guy. Like, look, there's almost, like, when she does, like, her animations, there's almost no cut. Like, it's almost all pretty much one shot besides, like, the theater stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just the whole thing was, for somebody like me who doesn't know shit about editing, who really just fucking watches something, I mean, that looked like, it looked like she gets paid. Let me say it like that. It looks like she gets paid to do this, and that is a criminal offense for somebody below 1,000K. Like, it's almost the audacity of YouTube not to have her officially as a partner on YouTube. That's just like, how dare we casual viewers just bestow our eyes upon this greatness and not pay for it, you know? That it just felt wrong.
Yeah, it's just so awesome.
Fucking seeing, shout out to Trivial.
Friends. Yeah, absolutely. It's just awesome seeing friends and like people I genuinely want to succeed, like finally get recognized.
Yeah. 100%. It's and it's so kind of at this level where you and I are at now, where we are literally like at the start of, you know, gaining subs, gaining a community, stuff like that. It's very evident at this point who are the people who want to make content and are here for the content and enjoy what they're doing versus people who just want to be known as specifically YouTubers and want to, you know, do the cloud chasing kind of hustle where they don't really have much to deliver, but they will try to suck other people around them dry just to reach the next level. And it's like interactions with them or just seeing them in their videos, all it's not at all like lazy content or not that they don't have a worthwhile opinion, but it looks exhausting to be next to them. To talk to them. It's just so much effort. Like they're draining. They're just so overwhelmingly draining, and they don't have anything to offer, so they just take, you know, and they just want to know like the big secret, because they believe that if they have one viral video, they will just become PewDiePie. You know, that kind of mindset. Versus then seeing somebody like this. Yeah?
Oh, no, go ahead and finish your analogy. Go ahead. I have something to add on
versus, you know, comparing that to somebody like this trivial... sorry, I forgot the name. But comparing it to Trivial Theater, yes. Seeing somebody who genuinely loves what they do and crafts and does their work well and presents it well and is seriously into it, because at this point, literally using different interests. Anyway, enough sucking her dick. Just you can easily tell the difference. And it makes it so much cooler when you see the people who are in it for the right reasons, quote unquote. Getting the shout outs, making it big, living it up the hype, and doing the thing. I also want to give just a shout out to Danielle Starry, who I think also does the same thing. She does car vlogs, which is a genre I'm almost 0% interested in ever. I never sub to any of those kinds of accounts, but this one actually is good. And also criminally underrated. Anyway, yeah, so I'm sure that you also have had experience with people who just want to collaborate with you because they for the sake of collaborating and not because they have anything that they want to say or do.
Well, actually, no, because like I've like before this point, I've always been like either under or around like 100 subs, right?
Well, it's like, not necessarily the sub count, right? It's got to do a lot with the style of the approach, you know, like instead of coming up with an idea or having an end goal, you know, saying I want to do a project of this kind, rather saying I want to collab. I have no idea, no input, nothing to do with it, but it has to happen, you know, cloud.
Oh yeah. I've never had a situation like that. I've collaborated. The only person there's only two people really. Well, technically three. Well, I can't count podcasting, so two. I've only appeared in two other people's videos before. That was Tech Saint, and then a friend of mine, I Am Benji. Funny enough, Benji's was like on H3H3. And then with Tech, it was on a video. He actually did a mixer video before John Swan did.
Wow.
Yeah, I was on that. Unfortunately, that was like my old setup. Like that was when I was still in my room in home. So unfortunately, like it's pretty crap setup. But like I gave my thoughts and opinions on like how unfortunate it was that mixer went away. But that was a fun video to make. But in terms of like the clout hungry guys, like the collaboration needs to happen for my channel. Like I haven't ran into anyone like that because like
you can see them on Twitter though. Like you can see them interact with other people
absolutely.
as well. Like they kind of self out, you know. They're not very subtle with their approaches, and it's gross. And
like,
I mean, yeah.
Imagine like how much like Tommy has to deal with, right? Like how many people just want to like suck up to him.
I can't even imagine because I genuinely actually think that he's a nice dude. I think he obviously has his persona. It makes sense, not judging at all.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I actually think he's a nice and accessible person, and I think a lot of that has blown up in his face, and that fucking sucks because you don't want to see it happen to the good ones.
Yeah, because like with him, right? He's a small guy, but he has a lot of influence. He has connections with the other bigger guys.
He has all the connections. He has all the connections.
Right, and so like, unfortunately, like for me, I would love to interview Tommy to like talk about radio stuff, right? Because again, like I'm not like shock jock radio, but like I just love the format of radio, and I love that he's like keeping that alive in internet form. But like obviously like he's dealt
really,
with a lot of bullshit. He's dealt with a lot of bullshit of people just like wanting to like get to him so that way they can potentially get to Tom, to get to Nick, to get to Augie, to get to Tipster, because they view him as like their gateway. But like I just want to have I just want to have a conversation with the dude because I find him genuinely interesting. Because like how I operate,
yeah, but
right,
I mean,
like,
maybe just DM him, see what happens. You know, like try it out. I don't think he carries himself as somebody who's above other people, but I think he, because of things that you and I know that have happened, I think he is guarded about who he lets in. But I think if you show that your intentions, are sincere and honest, I think that he will be able to tell because he seems to be a good read of character, and I genuinely. I found like most of his takes regarding the quality of people, intuitively I tend to agree with him. I agreed with his whole thing on technicals, that situation, and it seems like I rarely but anyway I think maybe just give it a shot, you never know.
Oh yeah, and like my thing is like I don't care if like you're 50 subs or like you're 200k. If I think we can have like a genuinely interesting conversation, I'll have you on the show. It's not even necessary like, oh, if I get this big guy on, I'll blow up. Like no, like I just want interesting conversations at the end of the day.
Yeah. John, I need to get going. Unfortunately.
Oh, okay, sweet. So, guys, if you aren't subbed to her, I would highly suggest you check out Thots and a link to her channel will be in the description below.
I'm amazing. I'm talented. I'm all that.
And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. This is Nerdy John signing out.